Hi, everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a lovely day. So, I was researching somebody that I wanted to do some React videos on. I mentioned that in my last video. And Chantal has gone live. She just finished up her live, I believe. And Neo Tarot just did a reading and posted it on Salah. So, I thought, what do I want to do first? Well, I'm always happy to review Neo Tarot's reading because those are the most entertaining of all the content. So I am interested to see what Neo has to say on Salah. And now I did a tarot reading on Foodie and Salah, and then Foodie and Salah together, the dynamics that might be going on there, what might be happening between the two. So I'm very interested to see what Neo has to say. And I'd like to express some love for Neo Tarot. Like, I love watching your readings. Neo, you're always on point. You get straight to the point. Your mouth is not a bakery. You don't sugarcoat anything. And I love that about you. Sending so much love to you, girl. And I hope that your vacation went extremely well. It was good, some good refresh time, like recharge time. We all need that. I'm going into this reading fresh, meaning I have not watched the reading at all. My spirit told me, don't do it. Don't watch it beforehand. Let the messages come out naturally as they do organically. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm very interested to see what Neo has to say. And for those of you that are not familiar with Neo Tarot, and you want to check out her channel, because not only does she do readings on Foodie and Salah and perhaps Natter, but she does really great readings on celebrities and singers and actors and just all kinds of people. Very entertaining, very spot on content. I'm going to leave a link for Neo's original video down in the description. So please look for the link, and that will lead you to the video and also to the rest of her channel, and sub up to her because she does really, really great readings on people. But we are here to see what's going on with Salah. Anybody's been following Foodie Beauty and Salah, Spirit's telling me a message right now. What a tangled web that we weave when we want to deceive. That just popped in my head right away. And I feel, to go along with that message, that the two of them, they've been spinning webs around each other with lies. Like that, the lies are the silk in that web. They've been weaving silky lies around each other and tangling themselves around each other to the point where now they're having trouble breaking away from each other. They are in each other's way for being happy. They are in each other's way for finding fulfillment and finding true freedom. And yet, despite the misery and the level of unhappiness, they just won't break away, even though Spirit is saying this is what you need to do. So I'm going to get into the reading and see what Neo has to say on the matter. And I look forward to everything that you want to say, Neo. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for this reading because I want to see what you have to say versus what I was told in my cards for the last reading. So let me just go ahead and share the screen. Okay. And I want to get all the way to the beginning, all the way. Okay, y'all ready? I'm loving this already. I'm happy. Neo posted a reading. I'm happy. Yes, Mama. Tell me all about it. Let's go.
Hey y'all, hey, let's get into this intuitive reading, this intuitive message, this guided reading, guided message for Salah. This reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes. Sometimes the tea is hot and sometimes it's not. You have to watch the video to the end to determine for yourself. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're always here, welcome back, friend. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. So these last couple of readings in regards to Foodie, Chantal, I have been asking questions about Salah, but it's been a little minute since I've done an actual reading on him. So let's just get into it and let's just see what Spirit says. For some reason it like popped in my head and I was like, okay, well, why not? All right, so let's get into it and let's just see what Spirit has to say in regards to Salah. Okay, now before I get started, Rose Thorn, All one word. Check her out. She also does readings on this subject. I'm not sure if anybody else does it. So, let me know and I'll, check out your reading as well. But let's just get into it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Spirit is a
Thank you for the shout out, Neo. And I'm always happy to point people in your direction because, like I said to all of you, she does great readings, not just on Foodie and Salah and Natter and that whole mess. I mean, she does readings on a lot of people. I think all of you on my channel, if you're into tarot readers and great readings, you would enjoy her channel very much. So I'm always happy to talk about great people with great content.
acknowledging that there is something that he is trying to get away from. There's some water sign energy here. Could be a water sign or could just be emotional for him. There's this energy of him not having enough power, enough say so. So there's a little solar plexus energy, but it's like trying to get away, trying to go away.
Okay, I'm looking at this card and here's what I'm feeling off of it, Neo. Like the whole beach hammock. I'm getting this image in my mind of Salah, just laying back, relaxing. There's a sense of he's not moving when he should move. He's just laying back. This is not the time to lay back. He's got to move. If this thing between him and Foodie is unhealthy, it's toxic, he's got to move. But he's sitting on it or he's laying on it. Like that the hammock is just screaming, laying on something and sitting on it versus getting up out of that hammock and moving. Like you're not taking the action that you need to take. You're sitting on something. And the more you sit on it and the more you lay on it, that nothing is truly going to change. If you are involved in a toxic situation or environment or around a bad person that is causing you harm or discomfort, you can't just sit there in the middle of that hole and do nothing. You've got to get up and you've got to get away. When it comes to toxic people, the only way to completely stop the discomfort from that end is to get up and move away. But he's not moving away. He's just sitting there. He's just laying in that hammock. So whatever discomfort, whatever suffering he is experiencing, it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable, but it's not so uncomfortable that he's willing to shut the door, block the phone number, block the messages, and walk away. He's sticking around for something. Could it be because of money? Maybe she's sending him money. Could it be because Chantal, she's holding something over him? I don't know. But whatever the discomfort level is, it's not great enough. It's not intense enough that he's completely shutting it down. There's a reason why he's sitting perfectly still. Maybe it has something to do with her wrath. Chantal is someone that's known for her wrath. Like if you get on a really bad side, she's going to come for you. She'll talk badly about you on her channel. She'll tell a bunch of lies. Maybe he doesn't want that because he has a family to think about. And family name and reputation is very important over there in the Middle East. But he's just, that card is just saying he's sitting on it. He's absolutely sitting on it when he doesn't have to. He needs to put some action behind his words. He needs to get up. He needs to do something, because as long as he stays sitting still, laying still, this is never going to be over. Like she'll take it as long as she can possibly take it. Someone like Chantal, you give her an inch, she'll take a mile. You give her a mile, she'll claim the whole city. You feel me? Like she will not stop until you make her stop. But that's just what I'm getting off this card.
Could possibly be going like on a trip or some sort, but trying to get away. I also acknowledging like I can't do anything about it right now, but I am going to deal with it when I can deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put it off for right now, but I'm gonna deal with that. And this has to do with a relationship. So, I'm just saying, based on the last reading that I did on Chantal, this could also acknowledge that someone went away, because now I see this soul partnership. And I do see water again, letting me know that this could be emotional and or could, just be acknowledging a water sign. But there's something where I can't deal with it right now, going away, getting away. And this has to do with this relationship, the two peas in a pod, mirror match, blessings, life mate. So what are we not?
Yeah, two peas in a pod. What's striking me about that card? Two peas in a pod usually implies that two people or two things are very much alike. So, what is alike when it comes to Chantal and Salah? Well, they have different goals in mind, but yet in the wrong ways, they're very similar. They're both liars, manipulators, scammers, con artists. I think in the wrong ways, they are very much alike. And again, it goes back to, I think, the message that I got in the very beginning, what a tangled web that we weave when we want to deceive. They wrap each other up in lies and deception and empty promises. And by doing so, they further entangle each other, and the web can get so tight and so complex that neither one can break away. You can get to a point where you're so wrapped up, you get stuck. And you're like, how do I get out of this? What do I do to break out of the web? So two peas in a pod, she and he, they need each other for different reasons. I feel Salah is hanging on to Chantal for money reasons. As long as she keeps sending him money, then he doesn't have to work or work as hard. And she gets to say, oh, I have a husband, when really she doesn't. But that whole two peas in a pod means you're alike. So when you look at Fraudy and you look at Salah, who are very opposite in their lifestyles and their goals, how could they be possibly alike? And the only thing I could think of is they like attention. They both like attention. Salah, aside from Chantal, when he was trying to replace her, he was looking for a woman on social media that had money, had a large channel, had a large following. So he was looking for a woman, and he had a certain checklist. And the checklist was looking for one with money, someone who could pay his way, buy him things. He could also ride piggyback off that woman to help him build a channel of some sort and get some money in his pocket on his side. He's looking for a woman with different aspects that benefits him completely. He's not about bringing anything positive to a woman's life and being a pillar of strength for her. It's all about, you're going to be my pillar of strength and support and financial stability. He's looking for a woman that he can ride piggyback off of. So there's that for Salah.
Not saying in that regard, he's acknowledging that this is very quiet right now in regards to their relationship. Also, there's a reunion. How's your mom and them? Returning, connection, presence. Okay, so Spirit has a lot to say. Okay, we'll stop there. Thank you. All right. So Spirit is acknowledging, like, around this relationship, around someone leaving and or trying to go away and get away, that there's a lot of quiet. There's a lot of don't say nothing. There's a lot of privacy. There's a lot of silence. And this has to do with a storm. So it could have already happened, or it could be currently happening, or he's preparing for the storm. And it's to get them in alignment. And I'm going to say them because it feels like I'm referencing more than one person, right?
Ooh.
A strong momentum, sudden change, courage, necessary shakeup, transformation, hope, okay, to get someone in alignment. And again, this is a returning to home. Look, reach out, your people, strong connections, reunion, foundation. How's your mom and them, family tree? And you're returning because someone got too big for their britches. And so this could be layered. This could be he's returning home, and or she being Chantal, is returning home because someone got too big for their britches, too big. Okay, every time, like, There's a pun on big. But anyway, Spirit is also acknowledging that
Like the too big for your britches thing, I don't know if that is referring to too big for your britches means you're getting too full of yourself. Like you're getting way too big for yourself. So I don't know if that has to do with ego, like somebody just got too full of themselves, got too big for their britches, and it has to do with ego, or not to be mean, but Chantal, her time in Kuwait, she has been gaining a tremendous amount of weight. Like her time in Kuwait has not led to her being healthy in any respect. As a matter of fact, she's got more and more physically unhealthy. In some of the readings that you've done on Chantal before, Neo, like your cards have said a lot of the same thing. She needs to focus on self love, all kinds of self love. Like she's been too busy throwing her focus, throwing her attention, throwing her love at other people, and not really looking inward and taking care of herself. Like she's been neglecting herself badly. She just, she likes to distract, that's the word. She's distracting herself from thinking about herself, from loving herself, from giving herself care that she desperately needs. She perhaps the work that she would have to do to fix herself is so tremendous. It is so much that it perhaps for her it's scary, it's overwhelming. And so when she thinks about all the work that she has to do, she just looks at it and goes, oh, there's just too much work to do. I'm going to go over here and think about this and focus on this person. But going back to the too big for your britches, in my opinion, Chantal did get too big for her britches, not in the physical sense. I think she went through a time period before Salah where she was getting too big for her britches. She was getting way too full of herself and way too arrogant and treating people badly. And I said before that I feel like the spirits are, they've been trying very hard to say, we're giving you a chance here. Take the chance. You've got the opportunity. You've got the money. You've got the resources. You've got the freedom. Use them well. And she doesn't want to listen to spirit. And so the spirits, they're at their wits' end with her. And they've decided, you know what? To make you, we got to break you. We got to break you down. We got to break down that huge ego and that arrogance and that rudeness and your unwillingness to change and to learn and to grow. We got to break down that toxic tower. We got to remove every stone. We got to just demolish it. And we got to rebuild something that actually works. And so this is, I think there's been a process that's been happening for quite a while where that has been going on slowly. And her time in Kuwait, things have been going downhill. And now that she's back home in Canada, she's having a little bit of a humble moment. She's not as arrogant as she used to be. She certainly doesn't have the money that she used to. Her health is not good. This is a make or break moment for her. But she got too big for her britches. And now spirit, I feel, is trying to teach her things to where she understands, hey, you're human too. You are very much human. You're not a demigod. You need to get things back in alignment.
that there's a wilted flower here, letting me know that there is love lost. And this is due to arrogance, vanity, self-importance, being high and mighty, modesty is needed. And this relationship not working out is definitely giving someone crazy eyes. Could be the collective, could be community, could be people who, dislike their relationship, whatnot, or disapprove, or, whatever, have their opinions. Not my business, not my problem. But Spirit's just acknowledging that they're totally content with him and her, as a combined energy running around like a chicken with their head cut off. Now, again, this is my brouhaha card, and that's just my simple way of saying that someone is into manifesting and doing things and like harvesting someone's energy or controlling someone's energy to do what they want them to do.
Well, Chantal is in Canada right now, and she is a highly jealous person, very controlling, very manipulative, and there's nothing that she hates more than locking eyes on a man, putting that man in her crosshairs. She will put herself in a position to get control of that man in every way possible. And then if she has to be separated away from that man, or if that man has some control over himself or some freedom, she hates it. She absolutely hates it. It makes her nuts. And at this moment, she's in Canada. Salah is back in Kuwait. He's thousands of miles away. And every single time that she has to come home to Canada because of her tourist visa, she has to renew her visa. If she's got to come back home, if she's separated away from him, that causes a lot of anxiety for her because she just can't stop thinking about what is he doing? Who is he talking to? What's going on his phone? Like she will make herself mentally spun just wondering what's going on behind her back. And this last episode, when she came back home to Canada, it was revealed that he was talking to a woman, and her name was Kybella. And there were a lot of explicit text messages. The last trip where she came home, she was supposed to come back to Canada and stay a while and take care of her health. But the moment that she found out about these text messages, she immediately went back over to Kuwait, almost like she was trying to reclaim her territory. Like she just panicked and she went back there. Now that she's back in Canada again, like all she's talking about is wanting to go back to Kuwait, despite the fact that there's a lot of unrest going on in the Middle East, and it's dangerous for her to be there right now. Even if there weren't, her health is bad. She really doesn't need to be flying back there. She could have a medical event on the plane. She's not putting her health first. She's not thinking about the risks involved with flying and traveling. All she's thinking about is, I have to be near my man. I got to protect my man. Like, thank you, Spirit. What she's doing is basically like a relationship version of capture the flag. Like, oh, I got the flag. It's mine. You can't have it. But when it comes to people, you can't put a person in your hand and hold on to them. They have their own sense of free will. They have their own sense of choice. They're going to go where they want to go. And there's nothing you can do to stop them. I've often said in my reacts to Chantal, I said, it doesn't matter if you're living with somebody. If a person wants to go out and be with another person physically, they're going to find a person, a place, a time, and an opportunity to make it happen. And there's nothing you can do. She's trying to play act this whole marriage with Salah. But in a real relationship or a real marriage, you got to trust your partner. And that trust has to go both ways. If you love them, then you should also trust them. And you should also respect them and be concerned for their well-being, for their happiness. And they should be concerned for yours. But if you're with somebody and you don't trust them, and the only way that you can feel secure is by sitting next to them and looking on their phone, that's not a relationship. You are, in essence, holding that person hostage to where they can't live and they can't move without you breathing over their neck, and nobody, and I mean nobody, is happy that way.
This is not the best formula and or recipe, and it always backfires. It just always does, because it's not a part of their righteous path to be with you,
Mm-mm.
to be amongst your energy
Nope.
for longer than they were supposed to, because they were supposed to learn a lesson and move on. You can't just hold them hostage because you want them, right? So people are very content and very happy. I'm also starting to pick up on the energy that his family could also be extremely excited about this not working out, and that they had a hand in it as well in regards to the brouhaha. Spirit is acknowledging that this hasn't come out. If it hasn't, it's coming, but there is going to be an explanation. There's going to be communication in regards to what transpired. Honesty, courage, sharing revelation, surprise news, text, and a phone call is bubbling at the belly and bubbling at the throat. Spirit is intervening. There's nothing anyone can do, because, again, it goes back to that card saying this was done to put one and or both of them, all of them, on their righteous path. Okay.
If you are a person and you are involved with a person or in a situation that it's not right for you, spirit will always intervene and find a way to either A, wake you up, or separate you from that which is not good for you. It may take a little while, but it's going to happen. You will get signs that something or someone is not right for you by the amount of discomfort or the pain that you experience. If you are around a person or place or a thing that you're not comfortable, you're not happy, you're stressed out, you're frustrated, that is a spiritual sign that that is not meant for you and you should get away. Now, some people are stubborn, or they get emotionally attached to someone or something, and the heart kind of gets in the way. The heart wants what it wants, and if it wants a person, place, or thing, you get dead set on it. You may feel the signs, you may see the signs, but you say to yourself, I'm not ready to let go yet. It's going to be painful if I let go. I just can't right now. The longer you stay with it, the longer it's going to hurt you. So maybe the lesson between Chantal and Salah is that they're both scammers and they're both liars. And because they're both scammers and liars and they got mixed up with each other, they both experienced discomfort. So the lesson is, hey, this is what happens when you get involved with somebody and you're lying about yourself and they are lying about themselves, and the two of you get together and you continue to lie. This is what happens. And maybe stop doing that. Stop scamming people. Stop lying to people. And as far as Salah, he needs to stop looking for women to pay his way and thinking that he can find stupid women that will just go along with the program and there's going to be no discomfort. I think Chantal was a lesson for him that just because somebody looks like a stupid mark doesn't mean they are. You know, like never underestimate other people. And he did. He underestimated her level of being malicious, vengeful, lying, deceitful, scamming. He underestimated her, much in the same way that her former ex, Natter, underestimated her. You know, she has a habit of finding scamming men, and it always ends badly. It ends very badly. There might be a whole collection of lessons here, but I'm doubtful that they will understand all the lessons and take those to heart and make better decisions next time.
Ashe to the ancestors, Ashe to the universe. So how does Salah currently see Foodie?
You know,
Chantal. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I feel like this card came out before, but he's currently acknowledging like her boat is at a standstill. There's a halt. It's not moving, and this is because he's acknowledging like she needs to take accountability and responsibility for her actions. Again, we see water could be emotional and or could be a water sign. We also see mountains in the background that let me know if they're dealing with ups and downs. There's a treasured objective to her being stalled and her not being able to move, and it also feels like she's stuck. Like I don't know what she's saying, but she can't move. There's a huge obstacle in her way. In fact, doesn't mean that she won't be able to move, but it's just acknowledging acknowledging like there's an issue with movement, an obstacle, halt, being stalled. And this is because someone is hugging and kissing up on someone else. I've said this before in my readings. It feels like his energy is definitely swaying towards someone else energetically, romantically, kissing and hugging, snuggling up, pillow talking, bonding in someone's favor. Okay. Spirit is also acknowledging she knows of this matter, and so she is barking up the wrong tree. She is angry. She is yelling. She is spiteful. She's upset. Okay. She's mad at God, source, energy, collective, the community, everybody. She's also lazing around like a bump on a log.
Okay, I'm sorry, Neil. I hate to stop you and cut you off, because when you're on a roll, you're on a roll, and I love it. As far as Chantal's boat being stuck in the water, I've been saying this for the longest, because like when I watch her and I react to her, like her energy right now, and it's been getting this way for a while. I feel like energy wise, she's got nothing to offer. Her battery has no power. Like she's just reached up. She's at a dead end. Thank you, Spirit. She's at a dead end. Like she used to know what to do. She used to have the energy to do it. She used to have the vitality, the mobility to do more. She used to have more creative thoughts and let's get this cooking. But she's reached a place in her life and on all levels where she's got nothing to give. She's stuck. She's stuck mentally, perhaps emotionally, physically. She's not in good health. I mean, I watch her videos. I don't feel any energy coming off of her. So she's stuck. There's been talk that there are airstrikes going on in around the Middle East right now. So a lot of air travel has been restricted. So even if she wanted to go back to Kuwait, it might be near impossible. So it doesn't surprise me that Salah is happy without her, that he's perhaps got another romantic interest. I suspect that this person's been in the background all along, and he might have been using Chantal's money to fund this new romance or this new connection or keep that connection going. And maybe it's one of those things of, I know about it, but I don't want to hear about it. Out of sight, out of mind. We've got this business deal going on. It's working for me on YouTube. I'm able to save face with people and make that into a story arc. So as long as it doesn't personally interfere and collide, we're good. And I'm sure his family is thrilled that Chantal is out of the picture. I'm sure they're thrilled that she's gone, and they probably hope that she stays gone, because she is a negative entity. She is a toxic whirlwind, just a negative tsunami that just comes, storming the beach and wrecks and ruins anything in her path. So the longer she stays away, the happier I'm sure everybody is. That seems to be a constant theme in her life, that anyone or anything that she gets near, there's always going to be a negative aftermath. There's no one that I've seen that's been around this woman that looked happier or healthier for knowing her. She drains people's energy. She is an energy vampire. She sucks everybody dry and makes them angry. That just seems to be a constant with her. So do I think you're right that she knows about this other person? More than likely. I mean, Fraudy is stupid, but she's not that stupid. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure in, if this person isn't giving me love and attention and affection, surely it's going to be going somewhere else. I mean, just common sense and logic. But yet, she knows what she needs to do as far as her channel and herself. She's got the tools, she's got the resources. She's just choosing not to do it. And that's by her choice. She's got the chance for happiness, and she's not taking it the right way.
inertia, false start, no response, and disinterest. And this is because he's acknowledging again that she was just trying to withstand the storm, withstand all of these tests that the relationship had endured. And she had all this solar plexus energy, all this power in her belly that she had chosen in regards to this romantic relationship and or passionate relationship. But it's a lot of water and it was a lot of emotion and it is emotional and trying to stand 2 feet, but it's only to your disservice, to your demise, because you are people pleasing, you being Chantal. He's acknowledging this like, okay, so was this all like
See that they're sorry, Neo. The relationship between Chantal and Salah, it's a cat and mouse game. And who the mouse is and who the cat is, it goes back and forth. I don't think it's just one person having all the control and the other person not having it. I think throughout this entire relationship, the power dynamic has it keeps switching. I think they both know each other's weaknesses and they both play those weaknesses against each other. For example, Chantal knows that Salah likes her money, needs her money, depends on her money. And so she's got that power and she plays that against him. On the other hand, Salah, knowing that Foodie is into him, likes how he looks, wants to be with him, I think he knows that's her weakness and he plays that against her. So again, it goes back and forth. When you got two people playing different mind games with each other, it's going to get messy, very messy.
game? Like being with Chantal, was it all a game? Was it a business arrangement?
I think it was both.
Like many of the people in my comment sections have said, shout out to y'all because y'all don't play. Y'all be keeping me so informed and I appreciate it. So, okay, so Salah, being with Chantal, was it a business arrangement? Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's do this is the energy. Okay. All right.
That was interesting, Neo. That card, whatever, let's do this. Huh. Could that mean that there was no passion? There was no true physical attraction? It was just, we don't have the synergy between us, but let's jump in the water anyway? It kind of feels like that. It kind of feels like almost like a shrug. I'm getting a shrug of the shoulders. I'm like, thank you. This is what I'm feeling like. Whatever, let's do this. That's what I'm getting off that card. Like a sense of just almost, I want to say dismissive. Like neither one was all about that 100%, but they decided to pursue it anyway. Just to have something to do or make some money. Like that, there wasn't a sense of excitement. Like when you're about to start something and you're all excited about it, there's a lot of enthusiasm, like you're anticipating great things. It was just like, yeah, whatever, let's do this. And that I think that's pretty accurate.
All right. What does Salah need to hear from his ancestors in regards to his current situation? Thank you, Spirit. The shadow, trials and tribulations. Is he dealing with some trials and tribulations? Um, Watch your back, caution, danger up ahead. This is a time of illusions. If they tell you the sky is blue, check. Dishonesty, deception, and uncertainty are in the air. Trust your intuition. Your inner voice is screaming to get your attention. There is more to the situation than meets the eye. You are in for a roller coaster ride. Emotional distress is no joke. The dark night of the soul is upon you. Your subconscious fears and limiting beliefs are showing out. Be aware of how you project fear in relationships, conversations, and negotiations. The things you stuff down in your subconscious are refusing to be suppressed anymore. You must deal with your shadow selves, dive headfirst into creative pursuits. The shadow shows up as Yoruba trickster god Eshu within the moon with
You know, you brought out this card, Neil, and the first card that popped into my head. I'm going to bring out my tarot deck and show you, because I have to bring out the card. I forget the exact card. Give me just a moment, Mama. But I was doing a reading on Salah, and this card kept popping up. The Seven of Cups. And when I was reading, I was just like, he's being seduced by the wrong things. You know, like he's got his dreams, he's got his ambitions, and like wanting to open up that Pandora's box, and he's going to be letting out a whole bunch of bad things inside. You know, like his shadow self, man, he needs to do some shadow work. Like he's ignoring the the messages of the ancestors. He knows what's right. He's just ignoring what's right because he's in his selfish, self-serving shadow self right now. He is. As a matter of fact, him and Fraudy both are. Like, they're both thinking selfishly. They're ignoring those messages from the ancestors and from the soul, and they're like, well, this is what I want. And I don't care about those uncomfortable feelings. This is what I want. So as long as he continues to, hold on a second, I just dropped my cards. Doggone it. They just dropped to the ground. Why'd they do that for? As long as they both continue to be stupid and selfish, they are going to suffer. They are both going to suffer the consequences badly.
two faces to represent his ability to communicate between realms. He is the Orisha or deity of marginal worlds, a protective messenger between the earth and the divine. Spirit is telling you to pay attention, to open your eyes, to release your fears and your doubts, and to make a powerful and wise choice. And they're also asking him to do shadow work, and he knows why.
In other words, Salah, stop lying to yourself and stop fooling yourself. The spirits are saying, stop lying to yourself, sir. Stop denying where the truth is. You're denying the truth. And the truth is, you're not happy. You've not been happy in the longest. Like, Chantal makes you completely happy. Being around her fills you with unhappiness. You're letting greed and selfishness and self-servingness just completely destroy your path. You need to get back on it. You really need to get back on it. Stop looking for someone to make a path for you. Make your own. If you make your own, it may be hard. It may take a while, but it's a better, more solid path than looking for somebody to fast track you on the way to success.
How does Salah currently see Chantal? Current energy. A team player on a squad, a
What?
clique of friends, a close friend. Subconsciously, is she working out or trying to change her body? Swole. Trying to change her body
Huh? What?
in the middle of the deck. He says she's salty and she has a sudden change of mood. And she's feeling like someone did her wrong. She's upset, bitter, annoyed, and jealous. But he's also acknowledging that she's insta famous, like know about her, that she's in a spotlight, that she's popular.
I think that's part of his trap. The fact that Salah wants to be famous or known on social media. He's certainly been looking around for a woman that already has, say, a TikTok account or a YouTube account with a bunch of followers and subscribers. So again, he can ride piggyback off of her notoriety and her money. I mean, he's been actively looking around for that. He found Fraudy. She had a large channel, was making money. That was part of the attraction. And then when Chantal came back to Canada, he was already talking to another person and asking her all kinds of questions about how many followers do you have on TikTok? How much money were you making? So this man has a negative scammer checklist of things that he's looking for. He's not looking for love. He's looking for someone that is financially stable, who's making more than average money so that she can take care of herself and him. He wants to be a kept man. And he wants someone to keep him and pay for him, even though he ain't worth having.
He also said that she's breadcrumbing, avoiding making any real effort, keeping her options open. She's full of mind games and not very committal, non-committal.
Breadcrumbing. That's funny. That's funny you said that. And I'll tell you why, Neo. I've had the feeling for the longest that, like, again, Chantal, she's stupid, but she's not stupid. You feel me? She is smart in ways that she shouldn't be smart. She's got that cunning, that craftiness, that malicious craftiness about her. She's crafty, evil, smart. And I think she's known all along that Salah is all about that life where he's younger. He wants to go out. He wants to do things. He wants to travel. He wants lots of money. And she knows about romance scammers. And she's aware that romance scammers, they sometimes find overweight women who are lonely and they bleed them dry of money and then leave as soon as they get the money. She's always known that. And I'm sure she's been fully aware of the fact that Salah is a romance scammer. So she's done her best to keep him under lock and key, to keep him by her. She started the whole process of talking to him and only showing herself through filtered videos and pictures so he didn't get a good look at her. She made sure that before she went to Kuwait that she got rid of the place where she was living, her roommate, her pets. She packed a bag and she went over there and put him in a position that even if he wanted to get rid of her, he couldn't. She turned the tables on the romance scammer. Like, you want my money? Well, I'm moving in with you. You're not just going to ditch me. And while she's been living in Kuwait, I feel that she made sure not to make too much money or give him too much money. That way he would be financially dependent on her. I think she's been careful. Don't make too much money. That way he doesn't have a whole lot of money and he can't travel and he can't escape her. So that whole breadcrumbing thing, I think that's what that card means. Like, she has just been just tossing out the breadcrumbs to him. Like, you're only getting a little bit. You're getting just enough to where the rent gets paid, the food gets paid for. We got gas money in the car, but you ain't got enough to go anywhere, boy. You're staying right here with me. I am the sugar mama. I'm dealing out the sugar, and you're not going to get a whole gallon of sugar. You're going to get a teaspoon, just enough to sweeten your tea, but no more than that. And that way, the next time you want some sweet tea, you got to come back to my table. I think that's the way it's always been with the two of them.
So this card is interesting, though. On the subconsciously, he's acknowledging that she trying to get her body together,
No.
get her body in shape, talking about it, acknowledging like she's going to work really hard at it.
Nope. Knowing Chantal, she likes to make promises to people. Like if she feels like the person that she's around, they're about to leave, and it has to do with her weight or her health, she will try to get a extension of sorts by making promises. Oh, don't leave. I promise I'll work on my health. I promise I'll work on my weight. Just give me a little bit more time. She tries to get like that extension in time so that that person sticks around a lot longer, as long as she could possibly make them stay on an empty promise. So if that person, they give her another chance, okay, like you need to work on your health though, she won't work on it though. And by that time, another month or 6 months has gone by, and then they get mad again, and then she'll make promises again, and then might give her another chance. But she's always about, I'm not about true change. It's just about promising change to keep the other person tied to her.
Relationship energy for Chantal and Salah. How does Salah see Chantal current energy? Rigged games. This is the second time we see a finger up against the mouth, like, shh, don't tell nobody about the games we playing. There's also this Ankh here, and I think, and we already talked about this, like the connection to where he lives. And wait, is it him or is it the other guy y'all be?
I was gonna say, Neo, wait a minute. What is this? What is this? No. But you know what? I did a reading on, listen, Mama, the last reading I did on Foodie Beauty and Salah, this is what my reading said. That Chantal, on her side, like she is just doing the most. She is giving money over here, she's giving money over here. Like she's got Natter on one side and Salah on the other, and like, sugar mama both those men. I think she's like giving out gifts and money on both sides, because when it comes to Chantal, she does not let men go. She's not a person that if you're involved with her, it's not working out, she'll say goodbye. That's it. The door is closed. I think there's communication going on both sides. Both sides. So, again, what a tangled web we weave when we go to deceive. There's so much deception here. There's so many layers. There's so many players involved. It gets so confusing.
Be telling me about. That's from Egypt.
Yeah.
Is he trying to say there's some rigged games with this guy from Egypt? Because the Ankh is an Egyptian symbol.
I have to wonder, do Natter and Salah know about each other? Has something happened where they know about each other? Do they both know that Chantal is talking to the both of them and fronting money to both of them? Not that they have anything to say. If what was going on with Salah and Chantal was a business transaction, that means they weren't really personally involved. It's strictly an employer-employee relationship. What's he going to say? It's her money. If she wants to spend it on somebody, what's he going to say? But maybe Chantal's been lying about the fact she's not been giving money to Natter. But I told y'all, like, Natter is in the picture. He never left. She never cut off things with him. She's still obsessed with Natter. Natter was the one that she wanted and she could not get to, so she settled for Salah, but she never took Natter off the stove. You feel me? She never did. She put him on the back burner and kept the heat on low, but she never turned the heat off.
See her eyes, and she's covering her head and her eyes. Eyes are the window to the soul.
Uh-huh.
So she's keeping a secret. He's aware of it. And he said, because of the secret, there's a death to ego and pride. What was beautiful is dead now. He's also acknowledging that she's free to go because she lies a special.
Oh, it sounds like Salah found out about Natter. Like he probably thought he had complete control of Chantal. And then he found out otherwise. And now he's like, well, if it's like that, if we have a business arrangement, but you're what little bit of money you do got, you're giving it somewhere else. Like, why are we even talking? That's what it sounds like.
Recipe. See, it always says that she's free to go. And then y'all tell me she left. Yeah, that's right. She left. And then somebody says when this is solar plexus energy, this was her choice. But she's there. He's also acknowledging that she's into it. She's into the brouhaha. It comes up all the time. That she's into doing love spells and things like that. He's not.
We talked about this. And I'll say it again. Chantal, I don't know what you're doing over there as far as any kind of magic or rituals. You need to stop. You really need to stop. You don't have good energy at all. Your energy is chaotic. It is destructive. It is negative. And if you are doing anything to influence or persuade or push or control another person, you got to know that's going to come boomeranging back on you. In the physical world, you can't control a person. But that's also true of the spiritual world. You can't do it there either, and you can't get away with it there either. Your battery's on low. So you don't have any energy to work with to make that happen anyway. But what you send out into the universe, you will get back. Understand that. And you need to stop and think about maybe some of the things happening to you right now are a direct result of you trying to push your will onto other people and try to manifest things that really are not meant for you. You're trying to circumvent somebody else's free will. That never ends well. You need to cut it out.
He's like, I'm onto it. I get it. I don't know if he found what you do or he heard what you do, but he found out. He knows. He knows what you're doing. And he also said that there's some forbidden fruit. Now, this could be on his end or this could be on her end because it always feels like
maybe it's like it's double. I think that on some certain respects, Neil, like certain things about the two of them are running parallel with each other. For example, I think he's had somebody on his mind from the get-go, and so has she. Like she's always had Natter on her mind, and he's had whoever on his mind. They're both selfish, self-serving, narcissistic, vain people. They got that in common. Like they both have been running games on each other and other people. And like certain events are lining up the same for each. Like right now, she's pursuing Natter and he's pursuing who he wants. So like the two lives are running parallel to each other in the same kind of circumstances.
both of them kind of do the same thing to one another,
Yep.
even though they don't, say it. There is a soul tie here, karmic connection, so you definitely have to break it. But he's acknowledging in the middle of the deck that there is a soul tie. There's a soul connection. There's karmic that is not written in the stars because someone is binding themselves to the other. Ooh, that's kind of scary.
Hold on a second. Someone is binding themselves to the other. You know, Neo, you talked about in other readings the brouhaha, the fact that Chantal might be doing something magical in regards to Salah, maybe some candle magic. Could it be that Chantal's been doing some spells or rituals that have to do with binding? There are things called binding spells. And sometimes you can do a binding spell on someone, uh, not so much for self to control the person in a harmful way, but if there's somebody and they're hurtful and they're toxic, you can do a binding spell. And the way the binding spell sometimes works, it's you bind somebody 3 times. You say, I bind you from hurting yourself and hurting other people. So that would be a positive binding spell. If somebody's being really hurtful, they might hurt themselves or they might hurt another person. You do the binding on them so they can't hurt themselves and they can't hurt another. But I'm wondering if Chantal has done some sort of a binding ritual or spell in a way to bind Salah with her to where he can't get away. That's negative, Chantal. That's selfish, evil.
Sending you love and light. That is not the move. Okay. I didn't mean to invite that energy with that word, but that is kind of weird. Let's say that. That's kind of weird.
Hold on a second. What word was that? I'm sorry, Mama. What did you say? Let me back it up a bit.
I mean to invite that energy with that word, but that is kind of, ooh, that's kind of scary. Sending you love and light. Oh, connection is karmic that is not written in the stars because someone is binding themselves to the other. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Sending you love and light. That is not the move. Okay.
Why do I have a feeling, Neo, that you picked up on what I just picked up on with the binding word? Why do I have that feeling, Mama?
I didn't mean to invite that energy with that word, but that is kind of weird. Let's say that. That's kind of weird. All right. Salah's current energy. Thank you.
You know, I'm just going to give you the picture that I just got in my head, Neo. In regards to what you just said, I just keep getting the picture that Chantal did something to Salah, where something involving a red thread, where she's tying a red thread between herself and Salah. I hope you didn't do that, Chantal.
All right. With a 9 of Wands, he is on defense. He is trying to hold his own. He is trying to persevere. He is standing strong. He is standing his ground. He is having courage in the area of business, but also in the area of romance. Fire sign energy could be.
I got that card in my last reading.
Passionate, but also could be chaotic. I do see mountains in the background, just acknowledging that he's dealing with some ups and downs. We also subconsciously have the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So there are some things that are slowing down for him. It's not moving as quickly as he would have hoped. He's acknowledging that there's an energy of him being stagnant and or lazy. Feeling like there's some missed opportunities, but he's going with the flow regardless. A lot of negative self-talk, even though he's trying to stand his ground. There's some negative self-talk in the midst there. He's also acknowledging with the 10 of Wands that he feels very burdened, that he's carrying a heavy weight, that he's struggling, that he's overextending himself, that he feels overwhelmed and burdened by work and or his responsibilities in the area of business, but also in the area of passion. Okay. All right.
Well, I'm sure with him being around Chantal, she like dealing with somebody who's toxic, really toxic. If you deal with them for too long, if you're around them too long, they can make you feel mentally exhausted, emotionally exhausted, spiritually depleted, and it takes time to get that back. To get your footing back. Like he got way too comfortable depending on her for the money, and then he had to deal with all of her for so long, for almost 2 years, and now he's got to get back on his feet and do his thing, and he's got to get reintroduced to hard work. It's going to be hard for him.
How does he feel towards Chantal? Salah, current energy towards Chantal. He feels like she's out of balance. He feels like he's out of balance when it comes to her. It's a lot of water pouring out, so it is emotional. It is heavy. It is draining. Even there's an imbalance when it comes to her. Discord, overindulgence, and risky behavior. Okay, with the Three of Pentacles, he is acknowledging subconsciously that they work together, but it wasn't just him and her. There's a third person in here whom they worked with as well. So there was teamwork, focusing on effort, growth, and learning, mastery. So just trying to get it right, right? But there's three to this little piece of puzzle. There's three people involved. And again, we see three again. So someone knowingly participated in this as well. Someone knows what it is, what's going on here. And Spirit is acknowledging.
Who is it? Who is the third party? I must know. Is it male? Is it female? Was it somebody in Canada? Was it somebody in Kuwait? I must know.
Three's a crowd. But in the middle of the deck, there is some form of celebration. Now, was he aware of it? Is he aware of it as much as she is? Feels like on her end, she was aware of it a little bit more than him. He might have just found out per se, but there was always a third party involved in this situation. Spirit is acknowledging with the Three of Cups, celebration, having a good time, parties, and good communication. So now there's some celebration. He's acknowledging, like, thank you, Spirit. We, her, she, somebody else are celebrating now. That might be it's not my problem. What's next for Salah? Thank you. There's an energy of the King of Pentacles. So there's someone who sits high. This person has a lot of money. It does feel like a male energy. And this person is just paying attention to him and watching him. This person has an enterprise. This person is very abundant and stable and secure.
The first word that popped into my head when you pulled that card was his friend Allah. I don't know why. That just popped into my head.
And grounded, okay? A nonconformist does not play that. He's acknowledging subconsciously that he has some out of balance energy with this person. They are not seeing eye to eye. They are at odds. Spirit is acknowledging. So there's an imbalance with him and this older gentleman. Discord, hastiness, overindulgence due to risky behavior. Okay, definitely feels like a father figure. Also feels like he's going to be losing a lot of money. Now, I don't know what his father's job is. I don't know what he does, but it feels like if there was an inheritance or if there was something to be had, it feels like he might have lost it or is afraid of losing it, or there's a conversation around losing some form of inheritance or some form of payment, etc. It does feel like an older gentleman who has authority, who sits higher in class than he does. Does that make sense? Or in rank? I don't know why Spirit is using.
Wow. So if this is the father, uh, the family reputation and the family name is very important. The things that Salah has done, the time that he's spent around Chantal, I'm sure that's done quite a bit of damage, both externally and internally, and it's caused the family a lot of shame. And maybe that's why things between he and Chantal had to end before it went way, way, way too far. But you did this to yourself, Salah. You did.
These words, but this is what's being said. With the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, there's negativity, poor planning, there's frustration, and there's also procrastination. So he's definitely feeling the weight in the area of finances, okay? And this has to do with an older gentleman who is watching him, who's like, so let's take the money. Let's take all of this off the table. You know what I'm saying? Is this in relationship to foodie, beauty? Yeah, heck yeah. This is in relationship to foodie.
Yep, I knew it. I mean, it's what else could make a father say that to their son or have that attitude? Like it had to be something severe, something severely embarrassing or hurtful for your own father to look at you and go, "I'm cutting you off. This is ridiculous. This is stupid." Look at what all of this has cost you, Salah. You came online because you were looking for the fast track to money, fame, but you did it the wrong way, sir. You didn't do it by your own hand. You didn't do it by your own hard work. It was all like, I want to ride piggyback on a woman and ride their back, find someone with a great big channel and lots of money, and I can live the free and easy life. And look at the price tag that you've now had to pay as a result of being around her for the time that you did. You know, you've caused some bad feelings within your family, some really bad feelings. You've caused shame and embarrassment for the family name. So somebody in your family is saying, I'm cutting you off. This is what happens when you get involved with somebody like her and you go all in and you ignore the warning signs.
So it just every time I read on these two, there's a quarrel, a problem that doesn't just rest amongst them two. It affects an entire family.
Yep.
And so yeah, this is about her. This reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes. Now we sit back and let the universe do what the universe does.
What a great reading, Neo. And to close out my thoughts on the last part of your reading, you know, it's crazy. If what you say is true, ma'am, the fact this whole thing with Chantal has caused such discord and within his family, a lot of hurt, embarrassment, humiliation. If the family's about ready to cut him off or has cut him off, he's still talking to her. He was in her chat today. You know, he's still not making the right decision to cut her off and choose the family over somebody who's not family. So he's still being foolish, and he's going to continue to suffer, as is she, until they both learn and cut this off and face away from each other versus facing toward each other. But a wonderful reading from you as always. Hope you guys have enjoyed this react that I did. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. And please check out Neo Tarot. I'm leaving the link for the original video below. Please go to her video and give her a like and a sub and give her a comment and tell her how much you really enjoyed her reading, because it was awesome today. And I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.